Hello! Alex with Job's Nursery here. And today we're going to talk about the difference of the European and the Asian pear because Asian pears aren't really well known. Walking around the garden center and then talking with my wife over produce, what are these and what's the difference between this and that? So we're going to take a few minutes and talk about that because February and March are planting season for fruit trees. So this way you know which one to taste test in the grocery store and then plant, because pears are a lot of work. You got to do routine spraying on them and all of that to keep the cottony moth from burrowing in there. That's true on Asian and European, so you're not saving yourself any work. But at least get the ones that you really like and plant them, because you're going to have a lot of them to deal with. The European pear, first off, has a mellower flavor. It's just a very light pear taste. Usually a little bit denser in the flesh, I've found. Thinner skin, and it cannot be tree ripened. You can't just leave it on the tree and pick it when you want like you do an apple. So you have to do a little bit special process with them. When you harvest them, you have to harvest them unripe, put them in a bag and let them ripen that way, or in like a dark box for a couple of days, and then you can eat them. Versus these guys, and we'll get to that in just a second. The other thing is they tend to be very juicy. And as I said before, the dense flesh, but they're kind of crunchy. And it's not a apple crunch or anything like that, a crispness. It's just a nice dense crunch. This is traditionally what you find in the canned pears, is this one. So that is the European pear. Bartlett, what I'm holding here is a Bosc, are both pretty popular varieties. It's just at the grocery store, this looked a lot better for camera's sake. My wife actually prefers the Bartletts, but they didn't look good. Anyway, the Asian pear is a lot like an apple. It is going to have a very strong pear taste to it. It's very juicy, very sweet. They are very crisp and crunchy. So when you bite into it, it's a lot like an apple, and that's why another name for the Asian pear is apple pear. So that's where you get those. These actually can be tree ripened. You can pick them off the tree and eat them like an apple. So you don't have to do any special process to it. So more likely, this one is going to be for your baking needs, your canning needs, and all of that. Your Asian pear is mostly fresh eating. I haven't seen too many recipes that call for using these guys. So if you're just looking for a fresh eating pear, consider these. Another cool thing is Bartletts of the European pear and most Asian pears will cross-pollinate with each other, so you can have both in the yard. Boscs do not bloom at the same time as these guys. So that's where you can't have the variety like you could. And there are self-fertile Asian pears. Usually, unfortunately, in the grocery store, they're just called Asian pears. They don't really designate them unless you go to a higher-end grocery store. Like where we went today, they were just Asian pear. But they delineated these guys. And I do recommend going through and picking varieties, one of each, and then actually having the family taste them, whether it's Asian pear or European. And that way you plant the one that you like. So thanks for watching. And we'll talk to you later.